It wasn't too long ago that Cathay Pacific was flying high as one of the best airlines in the world. With its hard-earned reputation over the decades, Cathay Pacific is one of Hong Kong's most recognizable brands. All these changed in recent years as COVID and multiple political crises hit Hong Kong, bringing this great airline to its knees. With Hong Kong and China finally opening up, it's time to give this Asian great another try. How much has changed? And what's new on board? Stay tuned as I check out Cathay Pacific on my long journey from Chicago to Singapore. Welcome to Chicago, where we begin this trip report. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Dexter and I make independent aviation trip reports. This report begins today at O'Hare International Airport, an airport I'm slightly familiar with as I've transited here before. Today, however, I'm starting my journey from the L train station which connects the airport to Chicago. My Cathay Pacific flight departs from Terminal 5 today, which I'll have to access using the airport's internal shuttle. To connect to Terminal 5, I have to actually go through Terminal 2 just to grab the shuttle train. Give yourself 20 minutes if you need to transit between terminals. I probably arrived at a rather busy hour, so take note that this shuttle train does get packed and you'll have to squeeze your way through. Once I arrived at Terminal 5, it's time to drop off my bags and head straight to the gate. Cathay is using Zone 5A today, and there's already a line for the economy check-in. With almost a full flight today, we have passengers transiting through Hong Kong to many Asian cities. If you're in business class, premium economy, or if you've checked in online, skip the line and head straight to drop off your bags at the counter. That's thanks to checking in online 48 hours earlier as a Cathay member. That being done, it's time to head for lunch inside the terminal. Trust me on this one, I really wanted to avoid Burger King, but by far they're the most affordable option in Terminal 5. You'll find them next to the Delta area at gates M10 and M11. And after that quick bite, I decided to engage in a little bit of plane spotting. Here's a fun fact. All international arrivals are processed here at Terminal 5, as the terminal has O'Hare's sole Customs and Border Protection facility. As such, some major airlines deplane their passengers here before towing their planes over to the other terminals for departure. These guys here actually use different terminals despite being in the same group. Talk about all that extra work. Anyway, it's time to head to the gate. That is M20, and there's nothing much to show in Terminal 5. It's really a facility that gets people onto their planes or deplanes them. Just a couple of lounges here, mostly Star Alliance ones, and some shops. So if you're looking to go crazy shopping here, don't. Here we are, gate M20 is at the longer end of the terminal, and we'll begin our Cathay journey shortly. So a little bit about Cathay Pacific's flight. Cathay Pacific actually launched flights to Chicago in 2014 with the airline using the Boeing 777ER.
After the ceremonial lion dance, a water cannon salute by the Chicago Fire Department was given as the Boeing 777-300 aircraft pulled into the gate.
I think you can expect, we try to do this every day, service straight from the heart, which is something that you can't really train for or teach.
These days, the Boeing 777 has been replaced by the Airbus A350-1000. A slight delay on arrival due to weather conditions meant that our flight to Hong Kong would depart around an hour late. It's not too big an issue for me today as I have a generous enough connection time in Hong Kong. Nonetheless, there's still room for improvement given that Cathay Pacific relies on tight connection for their business. Here's a glimpse of our very well-groomed cabin crew today as we await the preparation of our aircraft for departure to Hong Kong. I spot a Dough & Co catering truck here and I'm excited. These guys are some of the best in catering, so I can't wait to see what's cooking. Okay, it's time for boarding, and it was surprisingly orderly given the number of passengers we have on this flight. Digital customs checks later, it's time to get on board and check out this 15-hour non-stop service to Hong Kong. On board this Airbus A350-1000 are 46 business class seats along with 32 premium economy seats and 256 economy class seats. Economy class is split into 2 cabins and come in a 9 abreast seating configuration with 3 seats per row. Cabin attendants here were generally courteous and friendly. As I was coming on board, I see that some of the paper menus are on the floor already. Is this a sign of things to come? Anyway, let's get to the lovely features of our economy seat on this aircraft. As you can see, they all come with adjustable headrests. On each seat, we can find one pillow and a blanket. These are good for a long-haul economy flight, and I'm glad Cathay provides these. Legroom is decent. We're talking at least 32 inches of pitch here, and there's 18 inches of seat width. Love these pockets. There's some onboard literature which we'll get into, as well as a pair of headphones. Coat hooks are also available on the economy seats. You'll find these to the sides of the seats in front of you. Shared electrical outlets can be found under the seats. There are reading lights in the panel above, but no individual adjustable air nozzles. At each seat, there's a lovely mobile phone holder and a cup holder that's separate from the regular tray table. Here's the star of the seat, a large 11-inch entertainment screen with charging ports. Unfortunately, for some strange reason, these ports didn't work for me throughout the flight. Such a pity. The headphone jack can be found in the armrest. The safety instructions are probably the best that I've seen, nicely laminated in a clear plastic folder. The safety video also does its job. Call me an oldie, but don't sell me a destination city or country. Give me clear safety instructions. So it's a sad goodbye to Chicago once again. I wish I could have done more here, but we've a flight to review. I'll leave you for a minute, but enjoy the taxi and takeoff sequence. Once airborne, let's take a closer look at Cathay's new in-flight entertainment system. This recently refreshed system is fairly intuitive and easy for users to navigate, and there's plenty of information on other things such as Wi-Fi, as well as airline information. Shout out to whoever designed this. It's excellent that you have tooltips and guides on how to use the system. Scrolling is a breeze on these screens, and I'm having no problems navigating the content choices here. In vogue these days is live TV, which I'm glad Cathay Pacific has. Also in fashion these days are airlines partnering with the likes of HBO and Disney Plus to provide content on board. No prizes for guessing what I'm watching. I was hoping for programs like The Sympathizer on board, but this was sort of enjoyable. If watching movies or TV isn't your thing, Cathay also provides a copy of an in-flight magazine at each seat. In the post-COVID world, few airlines provide physical magazines anymore, but I'm glad Cathay Pacific still does. Inside the magazine, you'll find information such as route maps, as well as airport information for Hong Kong and Cathay Pacific fleet information. Overleaf is the shopping catalog. I had a flip through, but I didn't want to buy anything particular. Service began amid light turbulence, and every passenger was provided with a bottle of water. That little space between the cup holder tray actually does come useful for stowing bottles too. Once that was done, the first drinks and snack service commenced, and I made a special request. So in case you haven't heard, Cathay Pacific has its own craft pale ale named Betsy. This is a homage to their first ever aircraft, a DC-3, and it tastes great honestly. Single-use plastic cups are not in fashion these days at Cathay, but what the heck? Cheers to a great brew, and cheers to beer in a paper cup. A small packet of peanuts was also provided as a snack, which was rather nice. On a flight this long, snacks can also be requested between meals, but I chose to forego that option. Owing to the slight turbulence, dinner was served a little later than usual, but boy oh boy. Remember that I mentioned Doe & Co are catering this flight? Well, here's the menu and what we're getting. There's a Haagen-Dazs ice cream bar, as promised on the menu, along with several sides. A small side salad was provided alongside a bun and butter, as well as some cheese and crackers. I chose the peppercorn braised beef, and it didn't disappoint. As far as catering goes, this is excellent. And you know how good an airline can be when it gives you proper metal cutlery. To complete the meal, I chose apple juice. While I wouldn't say that this is the best ice cream in the world, it was still good for an economy meal of this standard. After dinner, it was time for the washroom. This one's beginning to show its age, a pity for a relatively new plane. You do get a gorgeous mirror, but I think that the sink has seen better days. All in all, this is a decently clean lavatory, but I think that the Cathay crew could do a little better with their cleanliness here. Next up, Wi-Fi. Cathay has several plans, but for a 15-hour flight, the one you should pick is the $20 option. That gives you an unlimited amount of Wi-Fi for the entire duration of the flight, and I think it's priced competitively. The system is powered by T-Mobile, and you can use Apple Pay or Alipay to make a purchase of the Wi-Fi plan. Wi-Fi speeds are decent. It's good enough for work, but probably not for streaming or taking a call. Two hours before arrival into Hong Kong, the second meal service commenced. Luckily for me, I managed to snag my preferred meal option, fish congee. A fruit salad and yogurt accompanied this breakfast meal. Also provided was a muffin instead of a bun for breakfast. This meal may look absolutely boring and bland, but don't be fooled. It was absolutely delicious. The texture and taste were absolutely spot on. As always, drinks were provided and I chose a hot tea. Pre-landing, I decided to get some work done, and well, it's a little tight if you're having the phone holder and laptop open at the same time. Also, on this very full flight, lines to the washroom are often long after meals, so I was glad that I managed to use these at the right times. Let's end with a quick run through of the flight maps. The UI looks great and it's easy to keep track of your flight here. Not before long, we're making our approach into Hong Kong with the lights of Macau shining brightly in the distance. Our arrival into Hong Kong was, as I said, late by an hour, but overall, this was a great flight with some room for improvement. The meals on board were great and the crew were friendly. I did feel they lacked a little finesse in their work, but I think they'll get that over time. The IFE system was a joy to use, and the only slight gripe I had was that my USB charging port wasn't working throughout the flight. Final review in a short while, but let's get through the transit. transiting in Hong Kong is a breeze. Now, I don't often transit here, and the last time I did so wasn't with Cathay Pacific. But this airport is so brilliantly set up for transits regardless of whether you fly Cathay Pacific or not. If you happen to have a tight connection and your first flight is late, there's Cathay staff who are looking out for you. Travelators will get you to where you need to be in a jiffy. Be it the Hong Kong immigration counters or the transfer desk. Past security, you're back to the gates and ready to enjoy an excellent transit experience in Hong Kong. Once again, this airport is fantastic. There are plenty of signs to help you navigate through the amazingly designed terminal. So onward to the next flight to Singapore, where I'll give you a preview of what's on board. I'll be providing a separate review for this particular flight, so stay tuned. With both flights completed, do I find Cathay a good airline to fly? Sure. They are not as bad as everyone says, but they do need to improve. In short, they're not dead and they're still in the game. And with that, here's my final verdict. And with that, I've come to the end of this flight review. What do you think of Cathay? Hope you enjoyed this video nonetheless. Hit the like button or subscribe and see you in the next one. Bye bye.